Have you ever felt like you don't have any friends? Have you ever felt like that you don't deserve friends? Have you ever felt like that you are not good enough? You know, that you were not good enough? Have you ever felt like you were not good enough? Have you ever felt like you are not worthy of having friends? Because in the last video we talked about this female man, male, female, male dynamics, But there's also the thing about male male dynamics around friendships. And this is another thing that that I realize with the people who comes to me, both men and women, that they suffer a lot around not having these people around them, like these people that they can call friends. And it's something that I suffered myself. I suffered myself with this thing. I suffered myself as well, and it actually reflects how you feel inside of yourself. And then the ones who have friends, they have friends who suffers too. They're also suffering. They're not like deep friends. They're just friends that where they can hang out with, and then they can numb their pain together with these friends. It's not friends that they don't lift each other up. That is what we need. That is what we need. So yeah, so my experience around this was also pretty tough. I come from a tough place. Right now I have friends. I have like this best friends. Like cool friends, nice friends, close friends. I could have better friends. I'm going to have better friends. I'm pretty sure of that, because I'm doing the work. I'm doing the inner work. I'm actually reaching out and talking with people, especially through my work. For example, I had one friend that I reached out to. He's like, I'll get into that later, but it's like how I got one of my friends through, through the work that I'm doing, through the connection game, whatever, just being me, just being Jin, how I got a friend by being just me, right? But anyway, like I come from a place where I forced to think that I needed to have these certain kind of friends. And at that time I was so depressed and so unaware. I was more or less pathological. I couldn't really feel myself, not at that time, but I was at that moment. But when I think back to that young self, this young version of me, I could still sense a little bit, like if I go back to that guy, I'm much more aware of what he's sensing. But if I'm inside that guy and going back in time, I'm inside this young Jin, then I couldn't really take action. And yeah, needless to say, like I couldn't even like fathom and process these things that came up to me. This light, this how can I say, connection to the higher self. I couldn't even process it. And what did it say? Like, what did this higher self say to me as a young guy? And it said to me like, "Hey, you're not connecting with these guys." And but at the same time, when I realized it, because I hang out with these people because I didn't have other people to hang out with. And these people, they really didn't, I would say, yeah, most of them, the majority of them, they really didn't want to have me around. Maybe one or two or three, maybe one or two wanted to have me around, but the rest was just not. I was not really vibing with them. They really didn't vibe with me. They really didn't want it to be around me. That was the feeling I got. Right, I couldn't really connect with them. I was just, because I was so traumatized. I was so fucked up. I was so that I couldn't express myself. I couldn't like, hey, let's go. This is the way we come on. Let's go. I'm this. I'm that. I like this. I want to do this. Let's go and do this. I was not that kind of person. I was this person in the background. So, which also led to me that I got friends with people who took advantage of me. You could say that, and also who teased me, bullied me, and yeah, I even got into some fights as well. So it's like, it's just like bad on bad on bad, like layers of just negativity and stupidity. So yeah, so I actually like went away from these friends, and then I met some other ones, and they were even like, I was more closer with these guys, because the first ones I couldn't even like go into them. They were just, I was just there for the sake of, I was there. My parents were like, hey, these guys, they're Sri Lankan Tamils, you are Sri Lankan Tamil, hang out with these guys. That was it. And then the next phase, I found some other guys, some other people, and then these guys I could go into, but then they started to like do some, yeah, smoke a lot of weed and stuff like that, So yeah, we were close, but then it was not. They were not. They were dragging me. Yeah. It's unfair to say that they only dragged me in the wrong direction. I was kind of dragging. I was just playing along, I didn't do. I didn't do any. I was just taking care of my studies, and then, that was the only good thing that I did, or an unquote good thing, because now I don't really use that study, But yeah, like they was just degenerate people that I hang out with, basically, and I kind of like they were the one who was like dragging me. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that because they're the one who took initiative. They're the one who taught me how to smoke, and they were the one who smoked the most, and they were the one who went out. They were the one who drank the most. They were the one who had these bad stigma and bad beliefs and bad behaviors around everybody else. Like they were the one who initiated all these things. They were the alpha, so to say, in this dark space. So I was just tagging along, and I was, just, yeah, I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't. Again, I didn't know how to get friends. I didn't know how to communicate and connect with other people. Even though I had my chances, because I met good people. For example, in my 20s, I met good people, and they even called me. They even like said to me, "Hey," but even there, I could feel like, okay, they just did it in a, out of courtesy, and I should have stopped myself there. I should have, like, tagged along there, but again, like my consciousness, my vibration was too low, so I couldn't match their vibration, right? So yeah, again, like I had, make a long story short, I just had the degenerate friends. I had friends that really didn't do any good for me, right? That just dragged me down, and I just tagged along. I didn't even, try to like drag them up. I'm like, hey, this is wrong, blah blah. I couldn't even, because I was clueless. And then finally, a shift happened where I moved to this bigger city, and then after that, I still were with these guys, even though I moved to the capital. I still couldn't let go, and then I moved to Australia, and then my mind opened up. Then when I moved, as soon as I moved to Australia, so I'm actually pretty happy that I'm very thankful for Australia. I'm pretty happy that I had the chance to move to Australia, because then it's so far away, and these guys, they couldn't follow me, because when I moved to the capital, they tagged along with me. They still come influence me, they still dragged me, and I couldn't like cut the line. I cut the communication channel, right? Because it's just the capital, and it's Denmark, it's a small country. So they just tagged along, and then, but when I made the move, the shift to Australia, is the other side of the world, then they really couldn't like, it's not like they could just book a flight to Sydney each and every month, right? Because it's hella expensive. It is not like they're coming to Asia and like cruising around in Asia and like, hey Jen, let's continue the degenerate stuff that we did. No. So it's like, anyway, so I moved there, and then I met a whole bunch of different people, and then those guys I hanged out with, they were also like having a hard time. Again, you attract what is inside of you, but they were a different kind of beings. They taught me how to interact with people, how to interact and meet people in the open, so I went into that, and some of it was pickup, I'm not gonna lie, some of it was like how to talk with a female, and then I went into this, and it opened up this big portal, like this whole new world, that, okay, nice, I can reach out and talk with these people. And then I have to weed out, because some people in this dynamic, in this controversial whole dynamic, are a bit fucked up, So those one I had to like weed out, and then slowly I started to form friendships, and slowly I started to connect. I even went to this Danish event, because they had a Danish place over there, Danish community. So I started to, like, yeah, I didn't saw them that much, but it still opened up. I went to events. I went to these meetup events and couchsurfing events and whatsoever, right? And started to meet new people every single day. It was amazing. It was a great adventure, And then when I came back, I started to just go out and meet people, whether it's females, males, whatever, it doesn't matter, and I slowly just let more and more loose of the pickup thing, it's like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit, and then slowly I started to form more and more genuine connections until now. Now I have just the best friends that I've ever had in my life, like these guys, I see myself with them much more than all the other guys that I've had together, and all the other guys, all those guys from, from previous, all those guys that I had previously that tagged along and I couldn't cut the cord, those guys, they slowly faded away. So now they're like, they're very transparent, they're still there, and but we don't really hang out. Like one of them, I said to him multiple times, like, hey, I don't really see us hanging out, I don't see that we share the values, and I can feel it spiritually and meditatively. I didn't say that, but I just said, like, I said the other things, right? And slowly I think he kind of got the message, and the same with some other people, but yeah, so that it's been a hell of a journey, hell of a ride. And one thing that helped me a lot is just healing my trauma, doing the inner work, and heal. And the more I healed, the more I shed away these traumas that I had from especially my father. The more I could feel, the light, and the more I felt the light, the more I connected with the higher self, the more I connected with God, the more I could express myself, the more I could stand up for myself, the more I could say no to people that didn't want to hang out with, the more I can seek out and spend quality time with the people that I really wanted to hang out with, So that is my story, and these friends have just been like a huge support. For example, today I had a meeting with one of my friends in Barcelona, and it's so uplifting, the interaction we had together, and we were like complimenting each other, lifting each other up, and like, it's amazing. It's so beautiful. I have another friend in Barca as well, where we meet every day at 6 o'clock and just live, hyping each other up, educating, both, complimenting each other. I have another friend, in Denmark, where I kind of gave him a second chance, and like, okay, he's evolving, he's growing, he's into inner work as well, so we're bonding on a deep level. We're having deep talks and complimenting each other and stuff like that, right? So my life is just filled with just these nice, beautiful people, and thanks to shadow work, thanks to inner work, thanks to spirituality, thanks to God, thanks to this gift of being able to go out there and talk to people, feel people energetically, okay, are they good for me or not, shaping one's intuition all the time. The more you use your intuition, the sharper it gets, and the sharper it gets, the more success you will get eventually around people, around choosing the right people. So yeah, so that is my story, and also like my emphasis on it's important to have these people around, because right now I'm about to move, I'm about to do another move, a huge jump, another leap, and I know wherever I go, I will take this gift with me. Nobody can stop me, and I will use it wisely. And it also helps that I don't have that many addictions, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't, succumb to these, eating junk food, watch pornography, all those kind of things that distracts me and keeps me away from God, So I'm even much better and much more sharper to read people and have a notion about people, Are they good people, bad people, and connect with people, connect with them on a deeper level, and tell them like, hey, let's dive in, man. Let's have these deep kind of connections, That's that is what I want, That is what it's all about. So yeah, so keep going, keep going. I love you guys, and if there's any questions or anything around this topic about friendship, it's important to have these friendships, important to have this tribe, It's important to have people to hype you up. It's important to have this gift to go out there and connect with people, and we need to do the inner work, We need to do it. It's inevitable, The more inner work you do, the better connection, the better people around you, the better people you will attract. So if you want to do the inner work around this topic, write me, I'm gonna put my IG handle down there, and please DM me, if you need help, or if you just want to chat, let's do that, Let's go.